Right now, there's a very good chance that the last time you yelled the word representative into your phone, the incredibly polite, infinitely patient voice that finally answered wasn't actually a human being.
Oh, yeah. Like, not even close to a human being.
Right. It was a cluster of servers sitting in a data center somewhere.
Yeah.
And, depending on the company you called, it was either this seamless, totally magical experience where your problem just vanished in 30 seconds, or
Or it was an incredibly frustrating loop of a robot repeatedly telling you it didn't quite catch that.
yes, exactly that. I mean, we've
Uh,
all been trapped on the wrong side of that interaction.
Oh, 100%. The contrast between a good AI implementation and a really bad one is, well, it's jarring, to say the least.
It really is. So today's deep dive is pulling back the curtain on the invisible infrastructure making all these interactions happen. We are unpacking this comprehensive 2026 report from the Service Agent blog.
Which is a fantastic breakdown, by the way.
It's so thorough. It's basically a side-by-side comparison of the top 7 AI call center software platforms that are currently dominating the market. And our mission here is to just cut straight through the marketing hype.
Yeah, get past the buzzwords.
Exactly. We want to find out what these tools actually do mechanically, what real users are saying when the software crashes, and honestly, how businesses can avoid paying upwards of $165 a seat for features they do not even understand, let alone actually use.
Because the business application of this technology is, honestly, it's still a bit of a Wild West right now.
Oh, totally.
I mean, the underlying models are moving at light speed, but corporate procurement is lagging way behind.
It's wild when you look at the purchasing data. It's like watching someone buy a massive 18-wheeler semi-truck just to make a quick grocery run.
That is the perfect analogy.
Right, like you would never do that. Yet businesses are doing exactly this with AI software, just bleeding cash on these enterprise behemoths when all they really need is like a simple smart assistant to route calls.
Yeah, you see companies over-equipping themselves and just drowning in complexity, while others are, under-equipping and actively losing revenue. And the source material really helps navigate this by segmenting the market based on business needs.
Right, showing that your operational scale completely dictates which AI platform will actually work for you.
Exactly.
So let's start at the absolute top of the food chain. We have to look at the massive heavyweights first.
Right, because they set the standard for what AI is theoretically capable of doing in customer service.
But they also represent the highest risk of bloated costs. So we're talking about the multi-million-dollar platforms built for giant multi-shift operations. First on the docket is Five9.
Right, so Five9 is built for massive scale. If you are running a giant inbound and outbound operation, meaning you have a strict minimum of 50 human agents sitting in seats taking calls, this is the arena you're playing in.
50 agents minimum. Okay.
Yeah. But the real why behind Five9, like the reason massive enterprises choose them over some sleeker startup, it all comes down to data visibility.
So it's an analytics play at its core.
Entirely. They have over 120 customizable reports built natively into the platform.
Wow, 120.
Yeah, and this isn't some bolted-on third-party dashboard. When you have hundreds of agents handling thousands of interactions every single hour, you need to know exactly where the bottlenecks are in real time.
Right, because at that scale, time is literally money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If an AI agent can shave just 3 seconds off an average call, well, at that scale, those 3 seconds compound into millions of dollars in operational savings over a year.
Which is huge. And the report actually mentions a 2025 Forrester Total Economic Impact study on this.
Oh, right, the one commissioned by Five9?
Yeah, they looked at a massive 500-agent composite organization, and the return on investment was driven specifically by reducing handle times and improving what they call first call resolution.
Which is the holy grail for a call center.
Right. The AI is essentially listening in, pulling up account data, and helping the human agent solve the problem so the customer just doesn't have to call back a second time.
Right. But the financial reality of deploying a system that complex is, well, it's where the friction starts.
Let's talk about that friction, because this is where the enterprise reality gets a little alarming for buyers.
Oh, definitely.
So the sticker price on Five9's website says it starts around $149 a month, but the source material pulls transaction data from vendor.
The platform that tracks actual finalized purchasing contracts.
Exactly. And that data shows the fully loaded cost is actually somewhere between $300 to $600 per seat.
Yeah, that discrepancy is staggering,
Yeah.
especially when you multiply it by 50 or 500 agents.
It fundamentally changes the budget. The report explains that you get hit with mandatory professional services just to integrate the software with your existing databases.
And then you have telephony overages on top of that.
Yes, it's like buying a ticket to a theme park thinking you're all set, and then you walk through the gates and realize every single roller coaster costs an extra $20 to ride.
Right.
If you don't have a multi-year budget and a dedicated IT team to manage the rollout, that hidden cost will just sink your operation.
And that rigid structure is exactly why a distinct alternative exists in the enterprise tier. Where Five9 relies heavily on its out-of-the-box native reporting, its main rival, Genesys Cloud CX, takes the complete opposite approach.
Okay, so how are they different?
Genesys is all about ultimate omnichannel customization.
Let me just define omnichannel really quickly because it gets thrown around as a buzzword a lot.
Good call.
So omnichannel basically means preserving the customer's context everywhere. Like if you tweet at an airline about a lost bag, then you switch to their in-app chat, and then you finally call their 1-800 number, the AI agent answering the phone already knows about the tweet and the chat.
Right. You don't have to repeat your confirmation number 3 times.
Exactly.
That is the perfect explanation. And making those disparate channels talk to each other is incredibly difficult. Genesys achieves this through their App Foundry, which boasts over 500 different integrations.
500.
Yeah. They provide this massive blank canvas that allows a multinational corporation to build a highly customized, seamless flow connecting every single piece of software they already use.
But the source material slaps a massive warning label on all that freedom.
It absolutely does. The G2 reviews highlighted in the report, they specifically warn about misconfiguration risk.
Right.
Because it is a blank canvas with 500 different tools at your disposal, if your IT architecture team doesn't know exactly what they're doing, they will build a disaster.
The classic IVR hell.
Precisely that. Interactive voice response loops. You build a routing rule for VIP customers, and then, like an overlapping rule for billing questions, and suddenly a VIP calling about a bill gets bounced back and forth between 2 AI menus until the system drops the call.
Sounds infuriating.
It is. And fixing those misconfigurations after the fact requires highly specialized external consultants, and it costs an absolute fortune to untangle the logic.
So Genesys gives you a blank canvas, but if you are, say, a multinational bank or a hospital network, a blank canvas is kind of a massive liability.
Exactly. You don't want your IT team getting creative. You want absolute, bulletproof legal compliance.
Which logically brings us to the third heavyweight on the list. Nice CXO and Mpower.
Right, the compliance king. This is the platform that dominates highly regulated industries. They're deployed in over 150 countries, which handles all those tricky, localized data privacy laws.
Makes sense.
But their true differentiator is how they uniquely bundle their AI with deep workforce management, or WFM.
And workforce management is fascinating because it blends human resources with like predictive algorithms.
Exactly.
Like if you run a healthcare call center, you don't just need an AI to transcribe calls. You need software to forecast the call volume for next Tuesday, schedule 300 human agents based on very strict regional labor laws, ensure real-time adherence to those schedules, and simultaneously monitor every single call for legal compliance.
Yeah, and NICE CXO essentially integrates the AI agent assist technology with the legal and logistical management of the human workforce, all inside one single vendor ecosystem.
So you don't have to stitch 3 different programs together.
Exactly.
But again, there is a catch with the enterprise heavyweights. The pricing for NICE isn't even publicly transparent. It's custom quote only.
Always a red flag for the budget.
Right. And when you dive into the G2 and Capterra user reviews in the report, buyers complain about reliability issues and this relentless add-on cost creep.
Well, the add-ons.
Yeah, you assume you're buying the whole compliance suite, but those advanced AI features require extra paid licenses.
The recurring theme at the enterprise tier is really that you're paying a massive premium for scale and integration power. But financial predictability is almost always the first casualty.
Which begs the question, what does the rest of the business world do? Because most companies do not have the time to endure months of complex setup, and they certainly don't have 50-person IT teams.
Right.
So the market naturally had to adapt, creating a category the report calls the out-of-the-box specialists. These platforms prioritize speed and industry-specific AI. Let's look at Talkdesk.
Talkdesk targets the mid-market by actively rejecting the Genesys philosophy. They essentially say, let's skip the blank canvas entirely.
Okay, so what do they offer instead?
Instead of making a hospital or a retail chain build their AI workflows from scratch, TalkDesk offers pre-built experience clouds. These are ready-made AI environments specifically fine-tuned for healthcare, retail, and financial services straight out of the box.
It's basically the difference between buying an empty plot of land and hiring an architect versus buying a model home in a subdivision that comes fully furnished. You just hand the keys to your team and move in.
The appeal is totally obvious, especially for a mid-sized business that needs to modernize fast. But the G2 reviews analyzed in the report point out some significant drawbacks to this packaged approach.
Like what?
First, the pricing is above the market average. To unlock the truly impactful features, like screen recording and advanced AI analytics, you are forced into their elite tier, which sits at $165 per user per month.
Ouch. And the more concerning red flag from those users was about the actual call quality, wasn't it? Multiple reviewers complain about call drops and sluggish performance.
Yeah, that sluggishness is a critical technical hurdle in AI voice technology. Think about it. When a customer speaks, that audio has to travel to the cloud, get transcribed into text, fed into a large language model to figure out a response, generated back into synthesized audio, and beamed back to the customer's ear.
That's a lot happening in milliseconds.
Exactly. And if an architecture like TalkDesk's isn't perfectly optimized, that round-trip latency creates a 1 or 2 second delay. The AI ends up talking over the customer, creating an incredibly awkward, frustrating experience.
And in high-volume retail, a delayed response isn't just an annoyance, it's a lost sale.
100%.
So if mid-market platforms still suffer from latency and high per-user fees, we have to look at the most radical departure from traditional software pricing on this entire list. A platform that targets highly specific niches and ditches the per-seat model entirely. Service Agent.
Yeah, Service Agent is a masterclass in hyper-niche innovation. They aren't trying to be an omnichannel solution for everyone. The platform is built exclusively for trades. So plumbing, HVAC, roofing, and electrical businesses.
Okay.
And the software doesn't just assist a human agent. It is designed to completely replace the front desk receptionist, integrate directly with field service CRMs, and handle the actual invoicing.
See, I need to play devil's advocate on their pricing model here because it actively defies the SaaS industry standard.
It really does.
The platform itself is free to use. There's no monthly software license fee. You only pay when the AI actually handles a call or processes a payment.
Right.
How does a company, and the report notes their parent company is backed by Sequoia Capital with $74 million raised, how do they survive on a $0 monthly fee?
Well, they survive and thrive, honestly, by utilizing a pure usage-based microtransaction model.
Okay, break that down for me.
So consider the daily reality of an HVAC technician. They are often out in the field, literally crawling under a house or standing on a hot roof. When a homeowner's AC breaks at 6 p.m. on a Friday, and they call that business, the human receptionist has already gone home.
Right.
The call goes to voicemail. Now, the homeowner isn't going to leave a message and wait all weekend. They will immediately hang up and call the next HVAC company on Google.
And that is a lost $500 emergency repair job.
Exactly. So Service Agent makes its money by taking a small percentage on the successful handling of that specific call. They claim a 100% call answer rate after deployment and a massive 75% booking conversion rate.
Wow, 75%.
Yeah. The software only gets paid when the plumber actually captures new revenue.
I mean, that economic alignment makes total sense. If I run an electrical business with 3 vans, I do not want to pay $150 a month just for the privilege of logging into a dashboard. I want to pay for the book job.
Exactly.
But the report is very quick to point out the caveats here.
Definitely. The primary risk is that it is incredibly unproven. Service Agent only launched in April 2025.
So it's brand new.
Right. Because it's so new to the market, there are absolutely no G2 or Capterra reviews yet to validate their conversion claims at scale. Furthermore, the report notes that buyers in regulated fields say a local dental office trying to use this receptionist bot, they have to manually verify the platform's IPI and SOC2 compliance on a live demo because those strict federal data protection standards aren't publicly listed on their site yet.
That's a huge step for a small business to take on. But the underlying technology they're using to achieve those bookings sounds wild. They don't just use a generic ChatGPT-style AI. They have highly specific models they call Roofing GPT and Plumbing GPT.
The mechanism behind that is what makes it so effective.
Yep.
A generic AI bot trained on the entire internet is prone to hallucinate or get deeply confused when a caller starts throwing out highly specific trade jargon.
Like SEER ratings for an air conditioner.
Exactly. Or evaporator coils. By constraining the AI model, essentially fine-tuning it to only understand and navigate trade-specific logic trees, the accuracy skyrockets. It inherently knows the difference between asking qualifying questions for a full roof replacement versus just a minor pipe leak.
It shrinks the AI's universe so it can't make up a bizarre answer.
Exactly.
So we've examined the massive enterprise heavyweights and we've explored the hyper niche trades. But what about the massive middle ground?
The everyday businesses.
Right, the standard small to medium business. Or conversely, the tech agency that wants to build their own bot from scratch. We conclude with the accessible options, the everyday assistant versus the developer sandbox, starting with Dialpad AI Contact Center.
So Dialpad represents the SMB sweet spot. They take a fundamentally different philosophical approach than Service Agent. Dialpad does not want to replace your human sales team. It wants to supercharge them.
Supercharge them how?
It offers real-time AI transcription, live whisper coaching where a supervisor can discreetly type a message to an agent during a tough call, and a feature called AI CASE.
Let's break down AI CCAT, because it feels a bit like science fiction.
It really does.
It predicts customer satisfaction scores without ever needing to send a post-call survey. Normally, you finish a call with customer service, they email you a link asking, how did we do? And maybe 2% of people actually bother to fill it out.
Right, which results in terrible skewed data.
Exactly. Dialpad's AI doesn't ask. It eavesdrops on the entire conversation, analyzes the sentiment, and automatically generates a highly accurate satisfaction score the second the phone hangs up.
And the mechanics of how it does that are fascinating. It isn't just looking at the transcribed words. It is analyzing the acoustic features of the call.
Wait, really? Acoustic features?
Yeah. It measures talk speed, volume, interruptions, and the specific cadence of resolution. It mathematically calculates human frustration.
Wow. It is incredibly useful data, but I do have to push back on their pricing structure because the report highlights a significant catch here.
Ah, yes, the easel AI data.
Right. Dialpad advertises an entry price of $80 per user per month. But the source cites a 2025 pricing breakdown from Easel AI, which reveals that the truly impactful AI features, like that AI CSAT we just explained, are firmly locked behind their premium plan.
Which jumps to $150.
Exactly. The entry tier is essentially a bait and switch if you want the real analytical power.
Now, beyond the pricing, there's a technical limitation for certain work environments, too.
Right. Research.com published a note in 2026 flagging that Dialpad's speech recognition degrades heavily in noisy environments. If you have a loud, open-plan sales floor, the background noise confuses the speech-to-text model, and the AI transcription starts missing crucial context.
Which completely invalidates the AI CSAT scoring. I mean, if the model can't transcribe the words accurately due to background chatter, it can't evaluate the sentiment. For an SMB, if your physical environment isn't suited for it, or you have to double your software budget just to access the tools you actually want, it completely shifts the ROI calculation.
It really does.
Which brings us to the final platform on the list. A tool that strips away the package dashboards entirely and just hands you the raw engine. SynthFlow.
The developer sandbox.
Exactly. It is the absolute antithesis of a packaged CRM. SynthFlow is a no-code and low-code AI voice agent builder explicitly designed for developers and technical agencies.
So no pre-built models.
Right. It provides direct API access, which essentially allows a developer to make SynthFlow's voice engine talk directly to whatever obscure homegrown database a company might be using. It's frequently cited as a strong alternative to another tool called Vapi AI.
So you aren't paying for a pretty user interface you don't need. You're just building exactly what you want from the ground up.
It's fantastic for the rapid deployment of highly customized voice bots. But it has a fatal flaw for high-volume users, and that comes down to its pricing structure. They do not charge per seat, they use bundled-minded pricing.
Meaning you buy a block of voice minutes up front, sort of like an old-school prepaid cell phone plan from the early 2000s.
That is the exact model. And Retail AI published a 2026 analysis that decided in the report, flagging a massive risk here. The overage rates on these minute blocks make long-term cost forecasting incredibly unpredictable.
I can imagine.
Yeah, if you deploy a custom bot and your product suddenly goes viral or you have a massive unexpected spike in customer service calls, your bot will blast through your bundled minutes and days. The overage charges will absolutely torch your monthly budget.
Wow!
It simply does not scale cost effectively when compared to a flat per seat license.
It's the ultimate trade-off in software. You get total control and endless flexibility, but you completely lose your financial predictability as you scale.
Exactly. The more calls you take, the harder you are penalized financially.
So, bringing all of this source material together, why should you care about any of this? I mean, whether you are an operations manager desperately trying to fix a chaotic call center, a small business owner bleeding revenue every time a call goes to voicemail after 5 p.m., or just a regular consumer wondering why getting a refund feels so fundamentally different lately, this software is the hidden engine of the 2026 economy.
The report proves there is no universal silver bullet tool. The software you choose entirely depends on your reality. Do you have a 50-person IT team ready to navigate the IVR hell of a blank canvas? Or do you just need an AI plumber to answer the phone at 8 p.m., understand what a SEER rating is, and book a job?
Right, but I want to leave you with something to really mull over, something that bridges a few of the mechanical concepts we've explored today.
Okay, let's hear.
We noted that Service Agent uses these hyper-specific models, right? Constraining the AI to perfectly negotiate trade specifics like HVAC GPT. And we just talked about Dialpad using AI CSA to eavesdrop on calls and score customer satisfaction without ever asking the human how they feel.
Right, two very powerful, very distinct applications of natural language processing.
But combine those mechanics in your mind for a second. If businesses are now deploying AI bots that are perfectly tuned to negotiate pricing and availability, and other AI models are perfectly tuned to evaluate satisfaction and tone, are we rapidly approaching a moment where your own personal AI assistant simply calls a business's AI agent to negotiate on your behalf?
It's wild to think about. Just two bots haggling. It raises a profound question about the future of commerce. If an AI is calling an AI to book a service, and an overarching AI is scoring how efficiently the two bots interacted, the entire concept of customer service becomes entirely machine to machine.
Yeah.
We're looking at an infrastructure that could completely remove human emotion, human frustration, and human error from the equation entirely.
The invisible infrastructure isn't just answering the phone anymore. Soon, it might be the only one making the call.